Massachusetts faced a devastating weather assault on Saturday that turned a typical September day into a nightmare of destruction and chaos. A confirmed tornado ripped through Holden near Worcester, while severe thunderstorms unleashed their fury across the Commonwealth, leaving thousands without power and communities scrambling to assess the damage.
You got a lot of thunderstorm fuel from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore up through Philly, over toward New York, the Hudson Valley, Connecticut, Massachusetts. The atmosphere is very ripe, very unstable. And that's why we expect these thunderstorms to form. But you need one more thing to get severe weather, and that is wind shear. Wind shear effectively allows storms to organize, and the more they organize, the higher the shear, the higher the instability, the stronger they can be. And you can get supercell thunderstorms, or storms that start to rotate if you've got the right balance between cape and shear. And I want to show you that shear here. Let's go to Saturday afternoon. Notice this red shading. That's about 40 to the white shading is about 50 knots of shear between 0 and 6 kilometers above our head. So, a couple miles up, right? And that's a lot. I mean, we look at a threshold, about 30 knots is the threshold you need for severe weather. 35 knots is better. 40 knots is pretty good. 40 to 50 knots is really good. And so that tells me that we're going to have storms organized, and some of those storms are going to be severe. And we want to look at low-level shear. So that was deep layer shear. That's going to organize a whole complex of storms. But the low-level shear in the lowest 2 or 3 kilometers of the air, that's what can give you a rotating storm or some low-level rotation.
This wasn't just another storm. This was nature's raw power on full display, and the Bay State bore the brunt of it. The National Weather Service confirmed that a tornado touched down in Holden at approximately 4 p.m., with radar detecting a debris signature that was painting a terrifying picture of destruction unfolding in real time. The twister materialized as part of a larger weather system that had meteorologists on high alert throughout the day. What made this particular tornado so dangerous was its near invisibility to the naked eye. Witnesses described how the funnel cloud was completely shrouded by torrential rain, making it impossible to see until the destruction began. The correlation coefficient on weather radar clearly showed non-uniform objects being lofted into the atmosphere, confirming that this was indeed a tornado actively causing damage on the ground. The tornado's path of destruction became evident almost immediately as emergency responders rushed to the scene.
Warning now issued for parts of Worcester County. Still seeing some potential signs of rotation within this line as it does move into Worcester County. So we're watching that very closely at this moment. Still also a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of southern New Hampshire as well. So the severe thunderstorm warning just issued is this one right here. It does include Franklin, Hampton, Hampshire, and Worcester counties, as Hampshire and Worcester counties. As this does continue to move to the east, we're going to watch that move through spots like Ware. Right now it is over Springfield and Worcester, not in the warning at this time, but if you are in Worcester, I would just hang tight, as this is likely going to be moving over within the next hour or so, half hour to an hour for spots like Worcester. So here is a look at the velocity. Still seeing some signs of rotation as you're seeing some of the wind going towards.
Video footage from Holden showed numerous trees snapped like twigs, their massive trunks no match for the rotating winds that characterized this dangerous weather phenomenon. The devastation along Bailey Road was particularly severe, with broken branches and debris scattered across the entire neighborhood. One resident's driveway was completely buried under fallen trees, while another homeowner discovered a massive tree had been split in half, with parts sprawled across their front lawn. The Paxton Fire Department, located just outside Worcester, found itself responding to multiple calls as the storm's impact rippled across central Massachusetts. As the immediate danger passed, residents emerged to find a landscape transformed by nature's fury. Many described the terrifying moments when the tornado struck. The house whistling with pressure changes, zero visibility from the driving rain, and the horrifying sounds of trees cracking and falling all around them. One family recounted rushing to their basement while calling 911, watching through their windows as branches fell in real time. Another resident described feeling the walls of their home shake as the tornado passed overhead. Despite the extensive property damage, residents expressed overwhelming relief and gratitude that everyone had survived. "We're extremely blessed," one Paxton resident said, surveying the destroyed trees covering their property, acknowledging how much worse it could have been. Boston 25. News meteorologist Tucker Antico had warned residents throughout the morning that conditions were ripe for severe weather, with the peak threat window falling between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. His forecast proved tragically accurate as the atmospheric ingredients came together in a perfect storm of destruction. The combination of temperatures in the mid-80s and oppressive humidity provided the fuel needed for the afternoon front to pack the punch that would soon terrorize communities across western Massachusetts, Worcester County, and the Merrimack Valley. The scientific confirmation of the tornado came through advanced radar technology that detected what meteorologists call a debris ball in the upper atmosphere.
You can barely see because the rain's coming down so hard. Although we do have a couple pockets where notice that the yellow's coming in. That's showing some moderate rain at times. Most of this flanking just south of New York, actually in the Philadelphia area out towards Trenton. Then we have another pocket of heavy rain near Hartford and out towards Wallingford. If we want to talk about where that tornado was, it was in this general area in Massachusetts. But let's talk about some of the severe storm reports. I mean, a lot of reports of trees down. We even had a hail report of 1.5 inches. I mean, that is significant hail when we're talking about storms this far north. And that just goes to show the available energy that was here. Just running through some of these storm reports, trees and wires down, so some isolated power outages was certainly seen yesterday. Wind damage in Paxton, in Holden, that was the town where we had that tornado, large tree down on Bailey Road, making it impassable. So let's break down this tornado really quickly here. We're showing you the past radar where, yes, it was a bit of a mess, not a classic rogue supercell, more of this bigger complex. But you can see that spin within that shield of precip. You take it one step forward. This is looking at debris tracker, something non-meteorological being lofted into the air. And you see the small.
At precisely p.m., radar systems identified this telltale signature, a concentration of non-meteorological targets being carried aloft by the tornado's powerful updraft. The velocity data showed rotation approaching 100 miles per hour in some areas, with wind shear patterns that left no doubt about the tornado's presence. This debris signature was particularly pronounced near the Summit and Morningdale areas, where the tornado reached its peak intensity. The correlation coefficient readings dropped significantly, indicating that leaves, branches, and other debris were being detected rather than regular precipitation. The tornado's impact extended far beyond just the immediate touchdown area. In Paxton, emergency crews reported a large tree had fallen across the roadway, making Bailey Road completely impassable to emergency vehicles. Multiple reports flooded in of trees crashing through homes, with one particularly harrowing incident involving teenagers who were home alone when a massive tree smashed through their window. Other residents discovered trees had penetrated their roofs, causing extensive interior damage from both the impact and the torrential rain that followed. The storm system also produced significant hail, with reports of ice chunks up to 1.5 inches in diameter pummeling parts of Manchester. The human impact of this weather disaster became clear as the evening progressed. At the height of the storm's fury, nearly 9,000 customers found themselves plunged into darkness as power lines succumbed to the violent winds and falling trees. By 11 p.m., utility crews had managed to restore power to most affected areas, but approximately 2,200 customers remained without electricity, a stark reminder of the storm's devastating power. The Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency worked tirelessly to coordinate response efforts as reports of damage continued to pour in from across the affected regions. The tornado's impact extended beyond just residential areas. The Worcester Red Sox game at Polar Park experienced a dramatic delay as torrential rain pounded the stadium while a tornado warning remained in effect. Fans and players alike witnessed firsthand the power of nature as the confirmed tornado touched down dangerously close to the city. Social media quickly filled with dramatic footage from inside the stadium, showing the intensity of the rainfall and the very real fear that gripped those present as the weather emergency unfolded around them. What made Saturday's weather event particularly dangerous was the speed at which conditions deteriorated. The National Weather Service issued tornado warnings for east central Worcester County and central Middlesex County, with the warning expiring at 5 p.m. The communities that found themselves in the tornado's potential path read like a who's who of central Massachusetts,
causing power outages and downed trees. In Massachusetts, this street completely underwater. 33 million Americans from New England to Baltimore caught up in scattered thunderstorms. spawning 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with bouts of hail and heavy rain. The brief deluge in New York causing tennis fans outside the U.S. Open to run for cover. Out west, hundreds of firefighters back on the front lines. Overnight, the fast-moving
Worcester, Marlborough, Shrewsbury, Hudson, Westboro, Holden, Northborough, Clinton, Lancaster, Sterling, Southborough, Stowe, Harvard, Framingham, Acton, Sudbury, Maynard, and Boxborough. Residents in these areas experienced the terrifying reality of tornado warnings as emergency management officials urged immediate shelter-seeking behavior. Beyond the confirmed tornado, the broader severe weather event brought added ional hazards that compounded the danger. Reports of ping-pong ball-sized hail added another dimension to the threat, with these ice projectiles capable of causing significant property damage and injury to anyone caught in the open. The combination of tornado activity, damaging winds, and large hail created a multifaceted weather emergency that stretched emergency response resources across multiple counties. More than 100 reports of wind damage were filed across the Northeast and New England regions, with tropical storm force wind gusts reported in locations as diverse as Mamaroneck, New York, and parts of Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and even Virginia. The meteorological setup that created Saturday's severe weather outbreak was textbook dangerous. The hot and humid conditions that characterized the morning hours provided the atmospheric instability needed for explosive thunderstorm development. As a cold front slowly approached the Boston area, it acted as a trigger mechanism that released the pent-up energy in the atmosphere. This collision between contrasting air masses created the perfect breeding ground for the type of severe weather that would soon terrorize communities across Massachusetts. The damage assessment process began immediately after the tornado lifted, with the National Weather Service announcing plans to conduct a comprehensive survey of the affected areas. This survey would determine crucial details about the tornado's characteristics, including its path length, path width, and official enhanced Fujita scale rating. The EF scale, which ranges from EF0 to EF5, provides a standardized method for classifying tornado intensity based on damage indicators and wind speed estimates. Notably, this tornado marked the first confirmed tornado in New England for 2025, making it a significant meteorological event for the region. In Holyoke, Massachusetts, the storm's fury manifested in numerous road closures and homes damaged by falling trees. The community found itself grappling with the immediate aftermath of nature's violence as residents emerged from their homes to survey the damage. Emergency responders worked through the evening hours to clear roadways and ensure public safety as the full extent of the destruction became apparent. The storm also affected neighboring areas like Stowe and Middlesex County, where power lines were downed and a local farm had fencing destroyed, releasing cattle onto nearby roads. Interestingly, the severe weather threat was somewhat mitigated by the ongoing drought conditions affecting much of the region. More than 70% of the area was either unusually dry or officially in drought status, which meant that the heavy rainfall associated with the storms was less likely to cause significant flooding. This silver lining in an otherwise dangerous situation helped prevent what could have been an even more catastrophic weather event. As Saturday evening gave way to Sunday, the weather pattern began to shift dramatically. The cooler and less humid conditions that moved in behind the front eliminated the severe weather threat, but they brought their own challenges. Southern New England found itself facing a drab Sunday with plenty of moisture in the forecast, cloudy skies, and on and off showers that would persist throughout the day. The recovery process began immediately as communities across Massachusetts started the difficult work of cleaning up after nature's assault. Utility crews worked around the clock to restore power to the thousands of customers who remained in the dark, while road crews focused on clearing the numerous trees and debris that blocked roadways throughout the affected areas. The coordinated response demonstrated the resilience of Massachusetts communities and their ability to come together in the face of natural disasters. For residents who experienced Saturday's severe weather firsthand, the event served as a stark reminder of nature's awesome power and the importance of weather preparedness. The confirmed tornado in Holden, combined with the widespread wind damage and power outages across the region, created a weather emergency that will be remembered for years to come. The rapid development of dangerous conditions underscored the critical importance of staying informed about weather threats and having a plan in place for severe weather emergencies. The National Weather Service's performance during this event highlighted the crucial role that meteorologists play in protecting public safety. From the initial forecasts that identified the severe weather threat to the real-time tornado warnings that provided life-saving information, the Weather Service's efforts helped minimize what could have been a much more tragic outcome. The radar confirmation of the tornado's debris signature provided definitive proof of the event's intensity and helped guide emergency response efforts. As Massachusetts moves forward from this severe weather event, the lessons learned will undoubtedly influence future preparedness efforts. The combination of advance warning, community response, and emergency management coordination that characterized Saturday's response provides a template for handling similar events in the future. The confirmed tornado in Holden stands as a reminder that severe weather can strike anywhere at any time, and that preparation and vigilance remain the best defenses against nature's fury.